Hey guys, this is Sarah and today I'm doing a book review. Today's book review is for Graceling by Kristin Cashore. I first read this book in 8th grade and I remembered the main characters' first names. For the life of me, I could not remember the book, the plot, or anything, but the years after 8th grade, I remembered clearly a scene in the forest and their two names. And I was obsessed with trying to figure out what book it was. And once I got into Goodreads, I finally found it and I was so excited, so I decided to read it this month and I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, so let's talk about my thoughts. I gave the plot 4 out of 5 stars. It was very slow in the beginning, mostly because of the world building, which took like 3 or 4 chapters. But once the main plot finally surfaced, it was very fast-paced, really engaging, a lot of adventures with mystery and magic, and I found it really enjoyable. I gave the writing style 4 out of 5 stars. I thought it was very simple and short, but not short like a bad way, like short sentences, short paragraphs, short points of views, short snippets of plot. And I found it very interesting that the way that was written, at times it was very funny, the dialogue was very good, and it had really good descriptions that you could imagine the world very clearly. I gave the characters 4 out of 5 stars as well. In general, they were all very likable, which could either be a good thing or a bad thing. They were easy to digest. They were very clear and well developed. In regards to the main character, I literally really liked her. She was a tomboy and very tough and gruff, very stubborn, which I can really relate to, and just in general a tough as nails girl. She grew a lot in this novel, but not easy. It wasn't an easy change. It was sort of like a reluctant change, which I thought was a very interesting spin on character development. Another main character that I really enjoyed was Poe. He's sort of like the romantic interest in this book. I found him to be very funny, strong, a very open character, very open to the main character Katsa, very open to new experiences, just in general very giving, and just what you see is what you get. If you like it, come. If you don't like it, go. It's okay. If you don't like it, it's okay. And just also very resilient, and I found him to be a very good contrast to our main character. All the secondary characters, at least the most prominent ones, I found them to be very beneficial to the plot line. They helped move it along with the main characters. We see a lot of secondary characters, so I can't really tell which are more important than others because there's so many, because it's such a big world, and they're all very interesting in their own way and served a very specific purpose in the plot line, which I really liked. Like I said in the beginning of this video, I read it in 8th grade. I can't for the life of me remember if I enjoyed it or not. I'm guessing I did because I could not forget Katsa and Poe. It was imprinted in my mind like a branding. For the life of me, I could not forget those two names, and I was always searching for this book. And I'm so glad that I finally found it and I got to read it again because I feel like I enjoyed it immensely. Usually with high fantasy books, I'd like a map to explain the world to me because sometimes the worlds are so complex that it can be really hard to understand. But this one was not at all. Like, basically you have north, south, west, and east, and the middle, over by the ocean and in the mountains. It's so good. It's so easy, but at the same time, something that no one's ever thought about to make a fantastical world so simple that it made me appreciate it that much more. You get such a clear idea of where everything is, what everything looks like, because the descriptions are so good. Kristin Cashore does descriptions really well. Not super drawn out, not really short, but just the right amount, and not overly poetic to paint it for you. Just very cute, very simple, very clear descriptions, and it helps the world in general, and it builds it up in your mind so you can easily envision everything that's going on with the plot. I really, really liked Katsa. There's a few things about her that differ from my own point of view, but it's a great. She is the tomboy in a world where girls wear dresses and get married and have kids, and she never really grew up around a mother figure. She didn't encounter a handmaid until she was 12, and because of her grace, she was with boys all the time, training with boys, fighting boys, dealing with boys. So she grew up as this very tough and nails tomboy, surviving to the last possible second, which gives her a certain mindset of other girls that turn me off a little bit, that marriage and kids and that kind of thing is not for her, and it's not fun. She doesn't like it, and it would change who she is as a person, which I totally understand. But at the same time, it was kind of like, yes, but it's okay if other people want to do it. She's very stubborn. She comes across a lot of things that sort of skew her plans and her life and herself. And even though they're good things, she fights them, she resents them, she doesn't like them, especially, most importantly, Poe being in love with her and she being in love with Poe. It kind of takes her a while to digest that thought and to process it. Even though it's a good thing, it's making her controlled life askew. And she's very stubborn, very controlling with her things, and so it takes her some time to grow and to change because she's very reluctant about it. But when she does, it's a huge change. It is another set in stone. Like, I'm set in stone this way, and then everything gets crazy, and now I finally have a right time, and nothing's going to change this one. This one's the one. And it's a very interesting character point because a lot of real people are like that, some I know in particular, and I found it very real and authentic to have a person like that. I also found it was very great how she made funny jokes or puns without really knowing it, because she's so frank and straightforward. Paul would laugh his ass off, and I would laugh my ass off, and she'd just be so confused because she's being honest and direct and true and making a joke and not even knowing it. And I thought that was something really sweet and cute about her character that wouldn't be expected of her personality. Poe! Oh my god, I love Poe. I feel like he's the epitome of a open, peaceful person. He is so funny, he's resilient, and I feel like he is the perfect counter for Katsa, who is so controlling, so set in her ways, and he's just open to new things, new experiences, new feelings. Everything to him is just wonderful and to be accepted with open arms. And I love how slowly but surely they bounce off each other and they grow together, and somehow he gets a little bit more set in his ways and stubborn and pushes Katsa to do things she doesn't want to do, and she gets more liberated, more honest, more open about her feelings, her things, and it was such a great to see them both grow individually and together at the same time, and I thought that was very great in this book. My heart broke when I found out he was blind. I was just like, oh Jesus, how, why? And I felt like it was unfair for him to be blind, but it made sense to the story, and it was something else to overcome. And the way he did it with such strength and such resilience, and when he finally came to terms with it, he said, I just let it go. I let it go, and I let it become a part of me, and he just sat in his new reality with such hope that I was like, yes, Poe, yes. I love Bitter Blue. I thought she was such a cute girl, so strong and so young to be able to take such a huge responsibility on her shoulders, not only deciding it was okay to kill her own father, but knowing that she's going to be queen and the leader of a kingdom, and taking that in such stride and such confidence, and knowing that she has to do things that are hard and are going to be difficult, but doing them anyway because she knows it's what she has to do, and she's so inspiring, and I feel like the third book's going to be about her, and it makes me so excited to be able to read from her point of view and her life, I'm guessing a few years down the road. How I feel about the ending, part of me liked it, but another part of me, I felt it was too open-ended, especially because the next book is not actually about Katsenpo. It's sort of like part of the series, companion novel at the same time, and I wanted something more solid for their future. I understand why that could not be, because they don't know what they want. Katsa wants to travel, she wants to see her uncle, she wants to see her friends. He wants to stay where he is, and then he has to go back to his kingdom and to his castle and stuff like that, and I get why it needed to be so open-ended, but I felt a little bit disappointed because I fell such in love with that pairing and that couple and them as individuals that I wanted reassurance that they were going to be good, and I don't have that, which kind of sucks, which is why it's 4 stars. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you like it. If you read this book, let me know your thoughts on it. Let's discuss it. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!